Hey, this is episode 10 bonus material. So you made it through all the way through season one. We did 10 episodes in 5 weeks. We'll probably kick off season two probably in January, give everyone a little break. And plus, we have these other channels going on full of a lot of really good content. But, the hope was that it would give vendors, some new ideas about the way to approach the marketplace and have a better experience for both the prospect, the hospital, the healthcare executive, and the vendor executive. So hope you enjoyed that. So this was on the gifts, and so in my opinion, there's no gifts necessary. It happens a lot right at the end of the holidays, and they're normally appropriate. They're not like, I don't know, it was episode 6 or 5 where Ricky's trying to get you to go deep sea fishing with them or hunting or to the football game or whatever with the Ginshu knives. Everyone's pretty appropriate, in terms of how much they're spending. But, you get the fruit baskets and the fruit is waxed and old and you appreciate it. But I mean, the nuts have been in a warehouse for months. So if you're going to give something pretty practical. Clearly, I'm completely biased in this episode, pushing my books at the end. But it does make for an interesting gift. And there's a few vendors that have done it over the last couple of years where you can give that book, a signed copy of that book to your customers, because it's a lot more practical than nuts. Nuts are gone. They probably throw them away. If they give them away, they're probably not taking it home. They're probably not eating it with their family. So the effectiveness of the nuts or some perishable is not all that great. But a book, that's something else. And then some have gone the extra step and you can customize those books. So on the front cover, so you can see some of the books up here, on the front cover, we could add an introduction from you, the CEO or whoever from that particular vendor. And then in the inside, you can write about why you were inspired to do that and give this book as a gift. And so it's like cool because like customized, your name, your logo on the cover, and someone will appreciate it. And as you know, all the proceeds, all the author royalties, so my royalties go to Cure Cancer. And it depends on the book where it goes. So healthcare digital transformation, you can usually tell by whoever wrote the foreword, that's where the money's going. That was Cleveland Clinic, my former boss, CEO. So that goes to Cleveland Clinic. And then Voice of Innovation, the second edition, the foreword is by Jennifer Fox, Mary Crowley Cancer Research CEO. So all the monies go there. So if you ever wonder where the monies go to any of my books, look at the forward, and that'll be your clue where that money's gone. So the one other thing from that episode that's true, and I was the bad person in that particular situation, is the box of chocolates. So way back when, it was early in my career, I was at Parkview Episcopal Medical Center. I worked with this account exec. I was so new as like a healthcare leader and definitely a tech leader. And I was working with this one vendor and they were great. I had a great relationship and the account exec was great. I'm trying to remember her name because this goes way back, like in the 90s. And I pressured her too much. And I remember she just broke down and cried one time. And I felt so bad. I was like, Ed, that should never happen. You pushed it a little bit too far. And I felt horrible. And it was like a Friday. And the next Monday or that weekend, I was heading out on vacation with my family for a couple of weeks, and I wanted to do something, and I went online. But back then, think about this is the 90s. There's not a lot of online capability. So I was like, I need to send her flowers. I need to show how bad I feel and that I'm sorry and to apologize to her. And I was kind of in a scramble and I couldn't find anything. I think I maybe called the grocery store, where they had a floral shop. And I was, again, kind of panicked, trying to get out of the office. And then I looked on my table and I had 2 boxes, giant boxes of chocolates. And they were really good. They were like from the Colorado or Rocky Mountain chocolate shop, like a really high-end chocolate. And my team had hosted a demo for a vendor, a different vendor. And they were very appreciative. Demo went really well. I think they got a new customer. And so I was like, all right, well, one of those boxes for the team, clearly they did all the work. I just, shook some hands, that sort of thing. So that box goes to the team. I was like, well, the second box, I don't want to take it home. We're heading out on vacation and, probably don't want all that chocolate around. So I was like, oh, wait a second. I'll give it to the account exec that I made cry. And so I wrote something and I taped it to the top of the box. And then I asked my admin to make sure that it got to her as timely as possible. And I went off on vacation. And I came back 2 weeks later, and there's an email there from her. And she was, oh man, she was definitely hooping it up. But she was like, Ed, thank you so much for the kind gesture of sending me chocolates, and your apologies accepted, because I really did feel horrible. She goes, but I'm glad the demo went really well. And then she went on to tell me that inside the box was a card from that vendor. And it was like, Ed and team, thank you for hosting, such and such. And so I re-gifted and got caught. And I felt so bad, because what made it worse, right? Because I was like trying to apologize to someone, and to apologize to someone with a re-gift, really bad form, really bad Ed, bad Ed. And someday I need to chase her down. Who knows where she is or what she's doing. But she was very wonderful to work with, and we did some amazing things that really helped my trajectory and saving lives. That's where all that all came from. And but yeah, that happens. So anyways, back to the gifts. Give a gift if you want to, low key. It's always best when it's personalized. I knew, like, when I receive a cheese board, I know that cheese board is going to 1,000 people. It's not personalized. At least with a book, you got you have an autograph. Sometimes if they let me know exactly who it's going to, I'll personalize the book. So not just sign it, but personalize it to that person's name. So whatever makes people happy, I'm cool to do it. But anyways, that wraps up the series. And I hope it was beneficial. It was fun to do. I got a whole bunch of other ideas around it. But again, we won't inundate you with a bunch of stuff all the time. So we'll just look forward to season 2. All right. Thanks for hanging with me. Hey, if you ever want to work together, check me out at marksadvisory.com. So there you'll find out the 3 things that I do. And if you're interested in me coming alongside your team and giving you personalized service, then check it all out. There's an application that helps us kind of get to know each other a little bit. And if it's a good fit, let's rock and roll. Let's do it. And if it's not, we'll come to that conclusion together and just move on. But anyways, marksadvisory.com. Thank you for watching the series.